Hello and welcome to another episode of Success Arise, the show that is focused on highlighting people that are walking in success by having an impact on others and their community. This week I have a special guest with me that I have known for quite some time now, and she is doing some amazing things in the community. So I would like to welcome to Success Arise, Ms. Carol Clark. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Gwen. I'm very, very honored to be your guest today.
Well, it's my privilege and pleasure to have you here. So like I said, we connected, maybe time goes by fast. It's probably been about 6 or 7 years now, right?
I would say about 7 years.
Yeah, about 7 years now through your organization, which you're going to share with us later. But before we get to that, just tell us a little bit about yourself first.
So I'm definitely a daughter of God. That's what I go by.
Okay.
I'm one of his favorites. And I'm married for 40 years to Jerry Clark, and I have 2 sons and a daughter-in-law.
Nice.
And I can't think of anything else to share about me.
Okay, well, where are you originally from? Are you from New Jersey?
Actually, I grew up in Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, and then moved over to Jersey for a year, went to college in New Jersey, and never went back.
Okay, what college did you attend?
Kean University.
Okay,
It was Kean College of New Jersey at that time.
Yes, so this will probably lead us into some of the other questions. So what did you study at Kean?
So at one point when I first went to Kean, I wanted to be a teacher of the deaf. I had fallen in love with a young lady who was deaf, and I was very intrigued by her manner of communication and anything that had to do with that. I always liked education, so I thought I'd become a teacher of the deaf. But when I went there to Kean, the program for teacher of the deaf and for speech therapy were almost identical. And they advised me to do a double major, which I did. And came out of college with a degree and 2 certificates. However, there were no jobs in teaching of the deaf. And so, but there were jobs for speech and language therapy. And I got my first job as a speech and language therapist for the deaf, which was awesome.
Nice. Yes. So good advice that was given to you, for sure. Yes. I know, actually, I was interested in speech pathology at one point. Okay. I minored in education. I majored in psychology, and I finished up my major coursework like the end of my sophomore, beginning of my junior year. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to double major. So I started taking some courses in speech pathology. That didn't last long. They're pretty challenging, I will say that. I got through probably 3 courses, and then I realized, I think I'm just going to stay with the education and psychology.
That was a good.
It worked. Yes, that definitely worked out for me. The speech definitely did not work out for me, but I do want to have one of my best friends actually is a speech pathologist, and she's been in that career ever since college, and it's been good for her. Yes. She's worked with children through early intervention. She's worked with the elderly population. It's definitely a field where you can kind of expand and not necessarily be stuck in one area. You could be hospital, you could be private, you could be within the school system. Yes. So that's a great thing with that.
I loved it. I thought, what a great move. In life you get choices, and thank God that was a good choice for me.
So did you stay within that field pretty much your whole career?
Yes, but working with different populations. So I worked in early childhood, I worked in elementary education, and then all through the school system. My favorite assignment was the last one, which was in the high school.
Yes.
And then I've also worked in the prison system.
Wow.
So yes, I had a lot of different experiences.
Okay, yes, high school level was my favorite level also. Yes, I spent a lot of time with middle school, but I really did enjoy working with the high school students. Okay, so how many years total did you spend in public education or in education?
Almost 33.
Wow,
Almost
okay.
33, yes.
And you shared with me earlier that you are now
retired.
Very good. Congratulations on that. Yes. And so how does that feel?
I love the freedom. My friends used to tell me, the friends that retired just before I did, they would say, it's so awesome, it's so great. And I had a hard time believing that. But I'm going to tell you, it is awesome and it is great. There's so much freedom. I can do what I want to do, go where I want to go, except for now during this pandemic. But it's just a wonderful, I call it a gift. It was a gift.
Well, awesome. You worked hard and you worked long, so you deserve the gift now. Yes, enjoy it. So, like I said, we met, we said about 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, through your organization. And I can't even remember how we initially connected. I just know somehow or another I ended up at your Love event.
Amen. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if we connected prior to that. I really don't remember.
That I met you at an affair that you had a table at and you were vending.
That's it does seem familiar. Yes. Wow. See, it's been so long we can't even remember. But anyway, so yes, we connected, and one of the first opportunities I had to experience the organization was at the Love event. So give us the name of the organization, how long it's been in existence, and how it kind of all came about. Okay,
my favorite story, my favorite subject. So our organization is called Exhale Women's Fellowship. And we've been in existence since 2009. We are an organization that helps women who are in crisis and distress. And when we first started, we thought we were just going to be an encouragement to women, going through. Women like to talk to each other. And you have friends that have little issues or big issues. I used to have friends that at one time, I had a friend whose husband died suddenly. Actually, 2 friends that husbands died suddenly. I have had a friend who was going through a divorce. And women talk and they share their feelings and how they're going through. And one Valentine's Day, it just seemed that the women, especially the ones who were dealing with the death of their husband and the ones who were going through the abandonment issues of divorce, it seemed like Valentine's Day was not going to be a happy day for them. And so I felt strongly that I should do something for them. And so I invited them and a few other of my friends over to my house, and we called it the celebration of God's magnificent love. And we celebrated Valentine's Day instead of feeling bad on Valentine's Day.
Yes, I like that.
And we had 16 women in my living room. Somebody danced, somebody sang. It was awesome. And I thought that was the end of that. And then the next year I wanted to do it again, but this time bigger. And the next time it was bigger. And we've been doing it every single year since 2009. This year we're going to do it in 2021. We're going to do it virtually. But we're going to do it nonetheless because it really is an encouragement and a strengthener to women who are going through all kinds of issues. In 2013, we incorporated. And then we realized, you know what? We have a bigger platform now to help women. And so that's when we started our emergency shelter program and our emergency assistance program, our mentoring, and our workforce development program. Those are the 4 legs that our organization stands on.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So as I said, the first time I attended the Love event, I was so impressed with it. I was like, this is an amazing event. I was impressed for so many reasons. First of all, you know, as an event planner, I go in and I'm always looking to see how things are planned.
Okay.
So it was planned out so well. It was planned out extremely well. All the women involved in the organization were so nice, so polite, so welcoming, and you literally could feel the love when you got there.
That's wonderful.
So that was the first impression. And then we went through the course of the evening. Oh, and let me stop and say, this event is free.
Free.
It's held at this wonderful catering hall, beautiful catering hall, and it is free to all the women who attend.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing. I was like, wow, this is amazing to be able to do an event of this caliber and not charge for it. So I was impressed by that. But then the program itself and how the program was run and the gifts and everything that took place, I was like, this is really good. This is really good. And so from the first year I attended, I was like, this is really something major.
Yes.
Yes.
And it impacts so many lives. We enjoy doing it. It's something that we fundraise for because we never want to charge anybody.
Right.
And we invite women who are broken, rejected, abandoned, all kinds of different issues, And they're going to be coming for free every single year we do it.
Yes. So that's the Love, what is it called? Because I call it the Love event because I just think, like I said, I just feel love on that evening. So I call it the Love event, but what is it actually called?
It's called the Celebration of God's Magnificent Love.
Okay.
And I've been calling it, this year I'm calling it the Red event.
Okay.
Because everybody that comes is in red. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Okay.
We started out with 16 women, and I think last year we were well over 200.
Yes. Yeah. So you went into a little bit about the services. So I just want you to give a little bit more detail about, the different services and, what that looks like. So again, we met, participated in the God's magnificent celebration
of God's magnificent love.
Right. So I participated in that. And then we kind of connected, and I had the opportunity to actually do some presentations for the women. And I guess that was under the Workforce Readiness Program.
Right.
So tell us a little bit more about that program.
So that program is designed to help women to either get back into the workforce or to get promoted in their workforce or to start their own business. We call it a financial empowerment program. One of the things that I didn't mention is the women that we deal with under our incorporation usually are domestic violence victims or women who have just gone through all kinds of different financial issues. And so a lot of them need help with resume writing and interviewing skills and business planning and things like that. And so that's where you were able to help us with the business planning. I think that a woman in this day and age, we need to be able to work for a living, but we also need to work a job, but we also, some women may need a side hustle, I call it, a side business, where they can make money on their own terms, on their own time. And so that's why we bring in the business planning of that.
And it's great, especially, for the women specifically that you're talking about, coming out of a situation where they've experienced domestic violence or coming out of a situation or being in the midst of a situation where they're not financially stable. You can provide them with temporary housing. You can provide them with transitional housing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if you don't equip them with what they need, then they'll find themselves back in that situation again. Very so that is a very critical and very important component that you offer to these women. And I like the fact that it's not necessarily focused on one area. It's not about, well, getting a promotion or getting a job. It's also about, do you have this passion for starting this business?
Right.
And if you do, well, guess what? You can do that also.
That's true.
That's great.
That is very true. That's true.
So now tell us about some of the other programs and services.
So we have the emergency shelter program. And during COVID-19, that program is the one that's really, done. We've done so much in that because we get calls, not every day, but way more calls than we normally would have gotten from. And then we help women who may not be able to take advantage of the county services for one reason or another. And so we put them in a motel. We can only do it for a short term, but we try to help them to figure it out.
Right.
Lot of them are dealing with domestic violence, like I said, and it's just like a sudden decision that they made to leave. And they may not have jobs. They may not have any kind of plan. And so we help them to get that plan out. We help them to plan it out.
Okay. All right. So, and then you have other services also, correct?
So emergency assistance. Now during COVID, that's like a sleeping program right now because we usually pay utility bills that are getting ready to be shut off, especially if the woman has some children in the home. We help pay all kinds of emergency situations, but because of the COVID-19 issues, they're not allowed to turn off utilities right now and things like that. So we haven't had to do much of that, but we do help women whenever they're going through different circumstances.
Really good. So tell me, how can people get in touch with you, either to take part of the services or to volunteer or even make donations?
So we have a website. Our website is exhaletoday.org. They can go on the website and see what's going on to make donations. We have a donate button right there. And also volunteers. We do have a wonderful, and I didn't talk about our board of directors, which is an awesome group of very committed women who love women,
yes,
and who want to help and serve. And so, and then we have a membership that consists of over 30 women, same heart.
So talk about the membership. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we meet every month, now virtually, now on Zoom, and we plan out different activities and things that sustain the organization. So right now we're getting ready to do a motel ministry, which we do that on a regular basis, I think at least twice a year, I should say. And the motel ministry is we go to a local motel with food and clothes, and this time, because it's Christmas, toys. It's my favorite outreach that we do. And like I said, there's about 30 of them, 30 women who help us with all kinds of things, including the mentoring, because I told you we have a mentoring program. So while
No, you didn't mention, well, we didn't go into detail about that.
Okay. So while we're working with the women, we don't want them to come back to the same spot again. That's the whole idea, just to get out and stay out of the situation.
Right.
And so the mentors are the ones that walk alongside the woman, and they help them to plan, make a plan, set goals, and to come out of the situation. I think it's a most wonderful program because they're actually touching the lives of the women that we're working with. So,
Well, the services are definitely very comprehensive. You know, it definitely will allow women who might find themselves in, you know, a situation where they're struggling to really be able to receive the support financially, you know, emotionally, spiritually, that will allow them to really be able to transition to something different.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love the fact that you have all the components in place to ensure success.
Success. That's what we want. That's what we want. And we're seeing it. It's amazing. We talked to a woman on one day, and she's crying, and she's bewildered and dismayed. And then, you know, weeks later, months later, she's calling and she's excited about something, or she is praying for somebody else. It's just awesome to see the transition that occurs.
That's wonderful. Good. So before we end, but one other question. You gave a website. Is there a phone number also? Could you share the phone number?
Sure. Phone number is 609-332-2133.
And I will be sure to add the phone number as well as the website within the comment section of the video if anyone needs to access it. So before we end, is there something that you would like to share, a word of encouragement, whatever is on your heart that you want to share before we close out?
So I did want to share that we're going to do a toy drive for our moms that have children. And so if anybody is interested in donating toys or donating finances so that we can purchase the toys, that would be very much appreciated. And also volunteers, people who have a heart to help other women. We would love to have you as part of our group.
Great. Thank you so much. So it was a pleasure to be able to have you on to talk about your organization. I personally have seen it in operation. And so I know all the great things that you have done, that you are doing, and that you're going to be able to continue to do through the organization. If you are a woman in need, this is an organization that you can go to, that is trusted, that will really just love you and just try to get you to that better place. And the women are all wonderful. I think I know pretty much most of the board. Some are a little bit better than others, but the women are all extremely nice, kind women who are truly concerned about other women. And you guys are always giving back. You're always giving back. So, you know, I just say thank you and kudos to you and the women in Exhale for being able to make a difference in the lives of other women.
Thank you.
And I know they appreciate it, but I appreciate it too.
Thank you.
So thank you for being on. So once again, I thank you for tuning into another episode of Success Arise. Remember that we've all been created for a purpose, that God has a specific plan for each and every single one of us. You see, success is really not about how much money you make, but it's about pursuing your purpose. It's about making a difference in the lives of others, like today's guest. And so I encourage you that whatever God has laid on your heart to do, no matter how big or small it may seem, move forward and do it. Our guest started with 16 women in her living room, and it has grown to an event of over 200 women. And I don't even know the countless number of women that they've been able to help and impact their lives over the last 2009 years. And so whatever God has placed in on your heart, just move forward in it so that you can be a blessing to others. Thanks again. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. God bless.